What's up, guys? Nick here from Budget Decks coming at you with a Penguin deck profile in this golden age of 2018. That's right, Penguins are here and they are coming back stronger than ever. But for reals, guys, this is a deck that I made when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been wanting to share this deck profile with you guys since I started this channel way back when. I don't even remember when, probably 6 months ago or whatever. But I've been wanting to profile this deck for a very long time. A few quick notes about it. This is actually the original build of Penguins. The deck that got me started into making, really cheap Yu-Gi-Oh decks. This was the deck that started it all, to be honest. If this deck did not exist, I would not be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! If this deck didn't exist, I would not be making this YouTube channel. If this deck did not exist, I would probably have a girlfriend. But aside from that, really good deck. Before we get started, well, even though I just said that phrase, before we get started, again, I wanted to say thank you to everyone that is supporting this channel. We have reached 100 subscribers as of this morning on February the 6th. Well, technically, not today's the 7th. It's midnight. So yeah, February the 6th. Yesterday morning, we reached 100 subscribers, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you all for the support that you've given. Thank you all for supporting cheap Yu-Gi-Oh! And thank you guys for not being meta trash. So anyway, let's kind of move on to this deck profile here. This might be a bit of a longer video just because I'm going to be going down memory lane the entire time. Telling you about why I made these decisions, back when I first started a year and a half ago. So as always, we are going to start with our extra deck. We do play one copy of the good old Nightmare Shark, everyone's favorite shark, because he attacks directly. Well, he targets a water monster, which will then attack directly. And what a concept. All the cards we run are water, except for like 3 of the cards. Next up is good old Acid Golem of Destruction. Honestly, this guy's one of my all-time favorite cards. Sure, he's not really that good, and he kind of kills you. But his 3,000 attack is really good to power over something on the field. And yeah, and his artwork's cool. I'm trying to figure out other reasons why he's good and why I put him in there, but that's why is 2 level 3 and 3,000. That's why I did it. Then we run 2 Black Ray Lancers. Oh my god. This is a great card because it negates a monster's effect once per turn. Doesn't destroy it, doesn't do anything special, just, negates a monster's effect. Granted, 2,100 attack, not too bad. It has a little bit of something on there. Then I run a number... Hold on, let me get rid of this crap here. I then run a number 19 Freezadon. Reason being I ran him is because when I first built this deck, I was like, I don't want to detach Nightmare Penguins materials. I'd rather detach another XZ material monsters. But dumb old Nick, back when he first started playing, didn't realize, oh, you have to summon 2 XYZ monsters in order to actually even have the chance of using that effect. Yeah, it's safe to say I never got him out. I never ever used him. But hey, he was in the deck profile, so there he is. Then is the first boss monster of the deck, which is number 73, Abyss Splash. The reason this guy is kind of like the first boss monster is because he does, if I remember right, he doubles his attack, which definitely allows him to power over things. Just by detaching XZ material, he does double his attack, but the damage your opponent takes is half, which is meh, but good spot removal, I guess? Granted, the only decks I was going against back then was like Heroics and Battling Boxers, so, warrior-type decks that did battle a lot. Then we're going to go into the other 2 bosses of the deck. And granted, these are probably the more expensive cards in the deck, but keep in mind, this deck is only 22 some odd dollars. Lauren, the Tiger King of the Ice Barrier. This is the card that got me thinking about water decks. Back in August of 2016, the second day I ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! Literally the second day. I pulled this card out of a tin, saw this card, and was like, I need to put this guy in a deck. I don't know what deck, but a deck. He is badass looking. His effect is meh, but it's badass. The fact that he bounces cards back to your hand to gain 500 just seems so cool, especially if it's like a bunch of spell cards. You can just activate them again. It's not even a big deal. And yeah, he's just a really good card, and he's actually the reason this deck. This is another one of those reasons that this deck exists. It's just because he just looks so cool. So good job, Konami. You got another patron just because your card looks so good. Last but not least is an Orica. An Orica, please sit down, child. It's an Orica. Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, and you're like, wow, why are you running an Orica? It's only been reprinted like 4 times since 2016. And it's like, I know, I'm aware. But when I first started playing, it wasn't. And I wanted to use the original cards that I had with this deck. And this was the original card I had. Because back when I first started playing, and I built this deck in October of 2016, I'm going to keep saying the date to really hammer in, this is an old deck. The card was $100 some odd. It was a lot of money back then. And there is no way in hell I was buying a $100 piece of cardboard for any deck. Whether it be my favorite card, whether it be my favorite deck, whether it be the godliest card ever that makes me win every single game, I would rather lose every game ever than pay $150 freaking dollars for one good card. It's limited, people. Come on. Sorry, I get so frustrated at people. They're like, all right, just buy an expensive card. I literally had someone tell me you need to save up for the actual copy of Trish, and I'm like, fuck yourself. You don't know what you're talking about. That's one of the reasons I've gotten to budget decks. Anyway, sorry, I'm sorry. I kind of going off tangents right there. Now onto the main deck. We are going to be running 3 Penguin Soldiers, just very standard because his effect is target 2, bounce, yeah, is it bounce? I think it's bounce. Bounce 2, back to the hand. Really standard, really good card. A lot of my friends have PTSD because of this card. It kind of kills all their hopes and dreams all in the same place, and it's just great. 3 copies of the glorious Nightmare Penguin. I mean, not much to say about him. He's cute. All water monsters I control gain 200 attack, and he returns 1 card. Card, not monster. He returns a card from your opponent's side of the field back into the hands. Again, just a really great card. Next, we run 3 of Note Penguin. When a card would be returned to the hand, banish it instead. Very simple. Plus, he does special summon himself from the grave when the effect of a penguin is activated, which happens a lot in this deck. That's all I'm saying. If you haven't noticed, there's a lot of penguins and penguin effects. And he does special summon himself out, which allows you some really good rank 3 plays. That's why the extra deck does focus mostly on rank 3s. All right. Next up, we do run 3 copies of good old Puny Penguin. Really cute card when it is in face down defense position and then is flipped up and destroyed. You may then special summon 1 penguin from your graveyard in face up attack position or face down defense position. If you haven't realized already, that is to bring back Penguin Soldier or Nightmare Penguin and just to kind of put the feeling of impending doom into your opponents. And let me tell you, there is nothing better than watching them lay like, oh, I killed your penguin. And then next thing you know, hey, look, there's a Penguin Soldier in face-on defense position, and I now know it is a Penguin Soldier. So that's a good one. Next, I run 3 copies of good old Bolt Penguin. Reason being, I do run Rescue Rabbit in this, and you know what? Let me, we'll get there when we get there. 3 copies of Bolt Penguin. I run Rescue Rabbit in this, so he's basically that target just to get the free XYZ out on the field, essentially. I don't know why I was running him at 3, but I was. So there he is at 3 in my deck. Honestly, you could run him at 2 and it would be a lot better. Because in the hand, he is a definite Garnet. He is just an absolute dead draw in the hand first turn. And honestly, he's not even that good. His stats are weak. But I run 3 of him because he is 20 cents and his better level 4 companion Flying Penguin is at $6. So thank you, McDonald's, for your promo card being $6 and forcing me to use a level 3 Penguin. Next, we do run the Great Emperor Penguin. Nothing too special about this guy. He's basically just a slower version of Rescue Rabbit. And by that, I mean he tributes a penguin on the field. Or, no, I'm sorry. You have to tribute summon him. And then... oh my god, I just thought of a combo. Anyway, you tribute summon him, and then you tribute himself. His effect is to tribute himself to special summon 2 penguins with the same name. You could literally pick 2 Note Penguins. That's usually what I do, is pick the 2 Note Penguins. Or if I haven't gotten Rescue Rabbit yet, I get the 2 Bolt Penguins out of my deck so I don't draw into them anymore. And and then just go into those rank 3 overlays. Or you can do some other shenanigans that I'm pretty confident you probably already thought of and are like, wow, how did I not see this? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm an idiot. I don't know. Then, of course, we do run the Rescue Rabbit to get those Bolt Penguins. We play Fishborg Archer because he is a level 3 tuner to help us get to Trishula. Plus, he does special summon himself when there is only water monsters in the grave. And then we run Beautiful Princess just to get Fishborg Archer out. You know, that's basically just a second Fishborg Archer, and it thins the deck a little bit. So that's kind of all the monsters. I believe we're running 20 monsters. I didn't do an exact count. And just to kind of remind you, in case you didn't read the title of this video, this is a $22 some odd version of Penguins. And yet again, if you're skipping forward, I'd like to remind you that this is a deck that I built very long ago. And yes, it sucks. Thank you for reminding me. 3 copies of Aquarium Stage is what will follow all that up. So the thing about Penguins, back when I built this deck, is they don't have much protection for themselves. They have no spell support, they have no trap support, so I had to figure out some generic water support. Aquarium Stage is just that. It protects them from being destroyed by battle, and if your opponent destroys this card, you get to special summon a card from your graveyard, which is, honest to God, surprisingly really good. I actually used that effect today, and they were like, wait a minute, they do that? And it's like, yeah. It's like, oh, people usually don't get rid of those. And yeah, it's a whole fun thing. Next up, we play 3 copies of Aquarium Set. Basically, they just buff the attack of the Penguins. Nowadays, I do run this at 2, to be honest with you. I swapped out one of these for a 1-for-1, and that works a lot better to kind of turbo out the Puny Penguin or to turbo out a level 1 tuner. Hint, hint, level 1 tuners exist. But yeah, I originally ran it at 3 just because that extra 300 attack, it has saved me in the past. And permanent spell, and it has the same effect as special summoning a monster from the grave when destroyed. Then we play 3 of our field spell, which is Lemuria, the Forgotten City. And fun fact, I don't run terraforming in this because when I built this deck, I didn't know terraforming existed. So there's something for you to edit and tell me in the comments that I need to fix. And it's like, I know, I'm aware. I am well aware. This card's name, it's treated as Umi. You can play with the levels of your monsters. And it's a really good card. They gain an extra, 200 attack? They gain an extra 200 attack. So it kind of also stacks on top of Aquarium Set as well. So with both of these on the field, they gain 500 attack, which honestly, that is a lot of attack to gain at one time. All right, so we did that. Sorry, I keep going on tangents. I am sorry, guys. 3 copies of Salvage is our next run through there, just to kind of recycle those Penguins back into my hand because recycling is a bit of a problem in the deck. As you probably already noticed, there's not a lot of recycling power. Salvage was my answer to that. Then I remember this. I remember this well. This was the first time I paid a lot of money for a single card, was Moray Agreed. I only run 2 in this deck, when I should obviously be running 3. Reason being was because at the time it was $4 for the common copy of Moray Agreed. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I am not paying more. I'm not paying for 3 of these, but it is such a good card. I will pay for 2. So I do run 2 of him. I do also run 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. Just some generic back row removal. Plus, it can help me get rid of my Aquarium Set and or Stage if need be. So that is another 2 cards on the docket. 1 Foolish Burial to get Nope Penguin in the grave. And that rounds out our spells. And last but not least, we have our last 3 cards, which are all the same trap card. Icebond. Really great trap card. And by really great, I mean probably absolute shit. And I don't know why. I see why I'm running it. I get it. Against the deck that I was testing this against, which was actually the heroic build like 2 or 3 videos back. This deck and that deck were going head to toe all freaking day long, like for an entire month. It's how I play tested the heck out of this deck. This card right here, when a monster with an attribute other than water is normal or special summon, including face down summons, and I control a face-up water monster, that summoned monster is changed to defense position. Now that works for both players. If you summon your Rescue Rabbit while you have a face-up Penguin Soldier, that has to go in defense mode. If your opponent's playing Heroics and they summon Excalibur while you have a Nightmare Penguin on the field face up, it has to go in defense mode. It was like one of those things where I didn't want to run Swords Revealing Light because I felt that was too mainstream. So I decided to be a Yu-Gi-Oh hipster and was like, I'm going to use Icebond. because that's not mainstream, and it's a trap, and it is actually like water based. Like, look at all that ice. Plus, look, they're actually in. I think they're actually in the city of Lemuria itself. Like, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh my god, it's great. Anyway, guys, that was my Penguin deck. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really sorry that this is probably the longest video we've ever had, but also at the same time, I am not sorry. Thank you all for watching so much. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you for the 100 subscribers. Remember, guys, please never ever pay for more than $1 for your Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and stay sexy, all right? Y'all have a great rest of your day.